coming to you live direct from the A&R studios. It's the Empire of Nerd podcast. Here's your host, the PokéTrooper.
Hey again, welcome back to the Empire of Nerd podcast. I am your host, the PokéTrooper. And today, we got some big news out of Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, and I'm going to cover it with you guys. Trying to get Dr. Snake to come out and shoot with me, but unfortunately not unfortunately, but right now he's in the process of moving, so he's really busy. So, let's get on to the big news. Got my traveler's notebook, been taking notes, watching the video all day. We're going to cover some of that stuff. First off, I'm going to just do a couple rapid fire notes, out of the news, because what I really want to talk about is all the news that we got for Pokémon Legends Z-A. So that's gonna be cool. But yeah, let's do some rapid fire real quick. I know I talked about some of this in the little quick reaction video, but this is gonna be a little more in depth. So sometime in September of this year, we're going to get the new season of Pokemon Concierge. Now, if you haven't seen it, it's actually a really cute show. It's about this girl that goes to go work at a Pokemon spa. And so the whole thing is in stop motion, stop motion animation. It looks really great. And the other cool thing is that they use different materials to animate the Pokemon. So some of them are made like wool and felt, things like that. So if you're a fan of those cards, that they use those different mediums, they use materials and fabrics and things to draw the characters, you'll love this show. It's a really cool show. It's a cute show. My kids love it, and I mean, it's just something nice to just throw on and just kind of relax and watch. So they're gonna put the new season up. They're working on season 2 right now. It'll be up in September of this year. And it's available on Netflix, but if you don't have Netflix, they're gonna put the first 4 episodes up on the official Pokemon YouTube channel for free. So you can always check it out there, see if you like it. Highly recommend you go check it out. It's really cool. Next bit of news is for Pokemon Go. If you're still playing Pokemon Go, starting March 1st and March 2nd, so this weekend, is gonna be the Unova Tour. Unova Tour, my goodness, I cannot speak. The Unova Tour. So there's gonna be a lot of limited edition Pokemon you can encounter on there, and it's gonna be this weekend. You're gonna be able to run into. They're gonna have battles for both the Black Kyurem and White Kyurem, and you have chances of encountering shiny versions of both Victini and Melioda. So if you're still playing Pokemon Go, jump on that this weekend. There's going to be a bunch of stuff you can find. And there's going to be a promo code. It's going to be Go Tour Unova. I'll pop it up right here on the screen. Go Tour Unova will be the first promo code, and they'll be releasing more promo codes as the weekend goes on. Now, for fans of Pokemon Masters EX, they did show a quick little clip of the 2 characters, May and Brendan. It looks really cool. Oh, my light just went off. Looks really cool. They show Kyogre and Groudon and Rayquaza, and they're all black and gold. Looks really cool. May's with Kyogre, Brendan's with Groudon, and I mean, it's a cool little trailer. If you're a fan of that, if you play that on the mobile phone as well, that's something to look forward to. That's going to be this weekend as well. Next up will be for Cafe Remix. If you play Cafe Remix, you're gonna have special Apple-themed menu items, and if you finish the missions or whatever it's called on there, you get the choice of adding either Flapple or Appleton to your staff. So you're gonna have that coming up. Next spot, Unite, for players of Unite. I know I play Unite. I love playing Unite in my spare time. They're gonna be adding Suicune, Alolan Raichu, and Alcremie to the game. Suicune will be available as of March 1st. Alolan Raichu will be added in April, and Alcremie is still to be determined. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's the month after, maybe more in the summer. But those characters are coming out. you'll be able to unlock them and use them into the Unite battles. They'll also be reintroducing Remote Stadium. I always call it a Remoat. I don't know why, but Remote Stadium. It's going to be they're bringing back Remote Stadium for the ranked matches. On top of that, they're going to be releasing a new game mode called First to 500. I think it's a little self-explanatory what the point of that. You're going to be doing a Unite battle, and the first team to 500 points wins. And all Pokemon will be available for you to use at that point. And again, Remote Stadium will be redone in a new layout, so there's going to be more opportunities for points and things like that. For the players of the Pokemon TCG Pocket, they'll be releasing a new set, just like they do in the real world. They release sets every so often for you to collect and things like that. The new set is going to be called where are my Triumphant Light, and it's really cool. They show a little pack. The pack's going to have Arceus on the covers, and it also looks like they're going to be bringing out new abilities. They look like they might be called Link abilities, because some of them are called like Vigor Link, Strength Link, Speed Link, things like that. And it looks like all of them are activated if you have or you're playing an Arceus in your deck, because there is a way to play the TCG on the game on there, so you can actually play. It's kind of like if you never played the TCG, it's a very like simplified, easier version. So if you want to learn how to play Pokemon, I would suggest jump on this. You get a cool chance to go collect cards, things like that, and you also get to play like this light version of the Pokemon trading card game. And then if you really enjoy it, maybe you start getting into the paper cards and you start playing real life. I love playing real life TCGs. I play Pokemon. I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, MetaZoo. I'm getting into Magic, One Piece for sure. Love playing One Piece. Pretty soon the Gundam one's gonna be coming out, so when those come out, I'll make sure to make a video about that. But point is, I love playing TCGs, so anything that can like encourage people to go out and play the TCG for real life, I'm all for it. And speaking of the TCG, they just announced as well Mega Evolutions into the trading card game. These cards look awesome, look stunning. So they will be called Mega so and so EX. So like they showed like what was it, Mega Gyarados EX, Mega Absol EX. They look great. They're all terrestrialized, whatever that mechanic is. They look great. That's gonna be really cool. So if you're a fan of TCG, wait, and pretty soon those cards will be available as well. So you're gonna be waiting for those cards. And I apologize if you hear a weird noise. My dog is drinking water. Let me see. And then Champions was the other big announcement. So let me talk a little bit about Champions. I want to spend a little time on this. So I mentioned in my other video, I feel like it's going to be the spiritual successor to Stadium, because the main focus of Pokemon Champions is going to be the Pokemon battles, but the Pokemon battles core style. So there's core style, and there's going to be this new style we're going to talk about in the next section. But it's going to be the Pokemon battles core style. So just imagine just the standard form of battle, turn-based, super effective, not as effective, things like that. I feel like it's going to be a spiritual successor to Pokemon Stadium, which, I mean, if you never played Pokemon Stadium, you really have to go back and try it. It was really fun, and it was just great. They had Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. There wasn't really much of a difference between the two, minus the fact of like some of like the little the story missions. You had like a trainer tower, and you would just go up the tower, and you would battle different trainers, just trying to make your way to the top. They had mini games. Mini games were insanely fun. Loved the mini games. And then if you had it, because it was on 64, if you had the adapter, you can actually put in your copy of Pokemon from the Game Boy, and you can either, one, play it on your big screen TV, because there was a section you play it, or two, import your Pokemon from your game, from your cartridge, to the 64. And I mean, that was really cool because obviously those were the Pokemon you were working with all through, you know, red, blue, yellow, you know, eventually silver, gold. I think you can import Crystal as well. And you can just import them into the game and you can battle and things like that. So it was really, really fun. And then it looks like this game is going to be available for both Nintendo Switch and for mobile. So we can safely assume it's going to be free, you know, on both systems. And you're going to be able to actually use Pokemon Home to import your Pokemon from either Pokemon Go if you're on mobile, or from Scarlet and Violet to Home, and then from Home import them into Pokemon Champions. So that's going to be really cool. It's going to be really fun, and it looks like it's going to be cross-play, obviously, if you're playing both, you know, with my light again. It's going to be both cross-play because you can play on both mobile, iOS and Android, and your Switch. So looks like you'll be battling people all around the world. It looks really fun. There hasn't really been any other like details other than that. Just that they're working on it. It's going to be done. Obviously, the direction is being taken care of by Game Freak, and the company producing this Pokemon Works. So they've got their own in-house company working on it. So I guess just to make sure that everything's done right, everything is properly, you know. And then the other kind of big news, like I said, which I thought was pretty cool. There was a gentleman on there. His name was Tomás Cortijo, and he was actually the regional director of the newly created headquarters in Mexico City. And so they're actually localizing and translating Pokemon into Spanish for Latin America, which I think is pretty cool because, you know, for most part, when you play a game, if you speak Spanish, you play in Spanish. It's always Castilian Spanish, Spanish from Spain, you know. And I think that's pretty neat. They're going to be able to you know, translate everything into Latin American Spanish. So again, it might not seem like a big deal, you know, because you would think Spanish is Spanish, English is English, whatever it might be. But there's words and terms, and even the dialect. It's just different. It just makes it so much more comfortable to play. It's like if you live here in North America and you want to play a game in English, but it's European English. Again, there'll be phrases and dialects that, not that it's uncomfortable to your ear, but you would feel more comfortable if you're in North America, you would want to hear a voice similar to yours. And, you know, vice versa, if you're in the UK or in Europe, anywhere in Europe, you want to hear, you know, the same dialect as that you speak. It's just, you know, what's it called? You know, it's just there to kind of like open up doors for more people, you know. And so they did say that Pokemon Champions will be launching with that option available right away, and that games moving forward will be have that option as well. So now you can play the Pokemon game in 10 languages. You know, I remember there was a big thing several years ago that I can't recall which way it went, but Pokemon was being translated into both Cantonese and to Mandarin. You know, because that both those languages are spoken in China and other areas, in other countries around that area. And they decided to cut one down, and all of a sudden they were only translating them. I can't recall which one, if it was either Mandarin or Cantonese. And you know, there was kind of not necessarily an uproar, but yeah, people were upset because they wanted to play the game in that specific language, despite the fact that they can still understand it. So it'd be the same thing as with the Spanish. Yes, like I would be able to play it, you know, in the Castilian Spanish, but I would prefer to play in Latin American Spanish because, again, it's just, that's easier for my ear to process. But yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, it's just going to make it more accessible to people, especially in Latin America, obviously. But the big news, big news. we finally got details for Pokemon Legends Z-A. Now this game was teased maybe about a year or two ago, maybe even longer. And I mean, it was a quick little teaser. From what I recall, the only big thing that they showed was that it was going to take place in Lumio City. And so that was all we got. You know, it was a little Pikachu, little digital Pikachu running through like a wireframe map of Lumio City. And so now it's been confirmed, of course, Lumio City, a bigger map, and it's going to be, I'm hoping, in a sense, open world, just the way that Pokemon Legends Arceus was. Now, there's going to be a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of things, you know, to look forward to. And I mean, there's so much. I was dissecting the trailer and the you know, the deep dive into it. And there's so many things in there that you can pull. It's going to be amazing. Off the top of my head, first thing is that it looks like there possibly might be day and night cycles. Now, what makes me think that is that there's a shot in the trailer where it's your trainer character and your partner Pokemon, and it looks like they're at a cafe like in the afternoon. Sun's going down, you're just kind of sitting there having tea, whatever it is. Looks like possibly there might be day and night cycles. Now the question would be is it going to be like original Pokemon games where you set your time and it's going to go off of the time? Or would it be, say, like Breath of the Wild and, you know, the new Legend of Zelda games where it's like, it's kind of a set time where, you know, you say a 24-hour day in game would be like maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes in the real world. So that's something that we gotta start speculating on, guys. You know, day and night cycles, what does that mean? Does that mean you'll be more likely to, which I'm assuming if there's a day and night cycle, you should be able to run into specific Pokemon in the night as opposed to in the day, and maybe in between as well. Maybe more Pokemon are active in the afternoon or early morning, and so you don't have to physically play the game, you know, at night or in the morning just to run into it. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Excuse me. And then as well, they showed the starter Pokemon. So you get there. There's going to be starters, and the starters that were revealed were Tepig, Chikorita, and Totodile. Now, I mean, that seems like a weird combination to me, that you would have only 2 Pokemon from the second generation, and then you would bring in another Pokemon from another generation. So I feel that's a little strange. Instead of having maybe all 3 mixed up, you know, have like a generation 2, a generation 4, and then maybe like a generation, you know, 6, whatever it might be. But it's making me think possibility, because it is the Kalos region. You know, this is the region where we're in X and Y. It's making me think that possibly they might be regional variants. You know, in the trailer they didn't show them higher than, I believe, level 10. So it's making me think they might be regional variants, because if you remember, Chikorita is strictly grass type. From Chikorita to Magearnium, it's strictly grass type. But in the trailer, it's actually shown using a fairy type move. I can't recall which one it is, but it's a fairy type move. Now, whether that move is actually in, you know, Chikorita's move pool, a possibility to learn, I don't know. But maybe it's gonna grow and evolve into something that'll be, you know, grass fairy type. You know, and that's the other thing. This was the generation that introduced Sylveon, and there has been if you watch the trailer, there has been a big, like, they were exhibiting pretty much every single evolution there is. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of like heavy EV influencing, and a lot of like, you know, different ways of evolving and variants and things like that. That's another thing that kind of makes me think about that. Okay, so the next part I want to talk about are the battles. So first, let's go with wild Pokemon battles. First thing you can see right off the bat in the trailer, you can reduce a Pokemon's HP to 0 and still catch a Pokemon, which I think, thank you Arceus. Thank you, we can finally have a chance to catch these Pokemon. If you run into a shiny and accidentally take it all the way down to 0, you can still get a chance to catch it. Possibility, what I'm thinking is you can probably bring it down to 0. You can see it looks like it's kind of stunned. You get little stars around its head. I'm thinking, you take it down to 0 and you get maybe like 3 to 4 seconds before the Pokemon, shrinks down, disappears, or whatever it is. You still have the opportunity to catch it, which I think is going to be so good, because how many times have we been shiny hunting or whatever it is, or you're really trying to catch one Pokemon and you accidentally take all his health down, and then there you go again trying to find it. So that's a change I'm really looking forward to. And also looking into the screenshots, you can notice right next to the Pokemon's HP and name, it looks like there's a series of arrows. It looks like maybe like 1 to 3 arrows. And that looks like that might have to do with the difficulty of the catch, because there's a screenshot where they're trying to catch, I don't remember if it was an Aldino or what. I'll put the image up right now. And you can see it has 2 arrows. And when the trainer throws a Pokeball, it pops out. And that's when Chikorita hits it with the move, takes his HP to 0. It gets stunned, and then you see the arrows increase to 3. And after that, the trainer throws a Pokeball, and it's caught. So that's going to be another thing. And, I mean, it's going to be crazy, It's going to be cool. It looks like all the Pokemon hunting you're going to do, it's going to be called wild areas. So it looks like it's going to be areas within the city. So it makes me wonder if you're actually going to be able to leave the city, or if it's all going to be contained within the city's borders. But it's going to be wild areas, and they're all numbered. So far I believe if you're watching the trailer, you see between 1 through 8. They don't look like too big, like maybe like a street long, or maybe not even like a block wide. But they're areas where wild Pokemon are allowed to roam around free. And it's going to be like Arceus, where you can enter the area and you can see the Pokemon walking around, in the map. And then, there's parts where they're walking and you can see that the Pokemon has like a question mark above their head, or maybe like an exclamation mark. So that can be maybe something like whether or not they notice you. And an exclamation mark is when they see you and they're going for attack, or they run away, whatever it might be. So that's going to be a whole new system that's set up. And so, which makes it cool, because then like in Legends Arceus, you can actually sneak up on Pokemon and catch them. And if you do that, that actually gives you like a bit of a boost towards your catch rate. So maybe you'll have the same thing. There's a shot of a Fletchling next to like a random taxi car. And right when the question mark pops up, the trainer throws the Pokeball and catches them. So that would be pretty cool. Giving you the option to like stealth catch and things like that, and you get a boost in your catch ratio for that stealth catch. And then when it comes to battling, you can see, I'll put a picture up. You can see in the bottom right corner. Well, this all goes into the whole thing of the battle. I mean, this new battle system is going to be amazing. If watching it kind of reminded me a bit of like Pokemon Unite. So you have your face buttons, and you're moving around, and when you attack, you press one of the buttons. Your Pokemon will do the attack, and then depending on like the type, if it's a really strong attack, if it's a weaker attack, it takes varying time between when it actually does the attack and if it hits. So it would be like, maybe like a tackle would be quicker than a rollout, which would be quicker than a hydro pump, which would be quicker than a solar beam. So that it's going to be a very, very active battle mechanic. So it's going to be real time. It's not turn-based anymore. And the cool thing is that when you're playing, you can see in the bottom right corner, you can see your 4 attacks, and it's going to show a symbol under each attack. And I believe it's going to be like it shows which attacks are more effective against which Pokemon. So I believe there's like a circle for like super effective, a triangle for not very effective, and then like an X for not effective at all, has no effect. That's gonna be really cool. It's gonna help you out. And the cool thing is, like I said, it's very active. It's very kinetic. It moves so much. Very active. You have to time everything. There's a shot where they're battling, and the Pokemon does, I think, like a moon. I think it's a moonbeam or moon ray. I can't remember the attack. Does the big attack, and then the trainer character actually tells your Pokemon to do a protect. So you can actually declare a defense just as the other Pokemon's attacking. So it's going to be very active, so you're going to have to be thinking on your feet a lot. And the other cool thing is, just like in Legends Arceus, you're going to have to move around the battlefield, because you might get in the way of an attack and you're going to get hit. So, I mean, it's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun. You know, you're going to be able to dodge and defend in real time, and as well as real-time battle switching. So it's not just going to be like, okay, it faints, and then let me take my turn to decide what I'm going to pick out, to what next Pokemon I'm going to send out. No, you have to literally think on the fly. And so it looks like on the left-hand side, you're going to have your list of Pokemon. You'll be able to switch back and forth, and you can recall and throw Pokemon out on the fly. So it's going to be a lot of strategizing, you know, when to attack, when to switch out, dodge, you know, and just, it's going to be a really great mechanic. I think it's going to really pump some life into the battles, and it's going to make it seem more like the anime, where you're over here, you know, telling your Pokemon, okay, dodge it, dive out of the way, now do this, now do that. And since it's not turn-based, you can probably actually put more than one attack in at once, because on the upper right, you can see there is like an attack chain. So it will show, like, you know, maybe your Chikorita does a tackle and then does a growl, and then right after that, the opponent's Pokemon does, you know, water gun, whatever it might be. So that's gonna be really cool. Mega evolutions are back, so you're gonna be able to mega evolve your Pokemon. And from the looks of it, there's like a meter on the right hand side, and as you're mega evolved, you can see the meter actually start ticking down. And, you know, I'm assuming obviously once it runs out, you're no longer mega evolved. But as you're mega evolved, you can actually see all the attacks have what looks like a symbol that says like C plus or G plus. I can't tell what it is. And so it would be like Stone Edge G plus, Solar Beam G plus. So all your moves are going to obviously get boosted up by the mega evolution. So the other question would be, you know, in the original X and Y, you would mega evolve. You can only mega evolve once per battle. So, you know, how does that mean that meter will fill up between battles, or is there something that you have to do in between battles, like collect things, or maybe give some kind of item to your Pokemon to fill that up? Who knows? But I mean, again, it's going to be really cool. And then the other thing, you can also battle multiple Pokemon at once. I believe you can do that in Legends Arceus. So you would, you know, come upon a group of Pokemon, maybe 3 or 4 of them will attack at once. You know, there's a scene where there's a shot in the trailer where the character has, you know, Mega Genghis-Khan out, and they were fighting, you know, a bunch of Trubbish. And the Mega Genghis-Khan did like maybe an earthquake, or I don't know what attack it was, but it knocked out all the Trubbish. And then the Garbodor also got hit. There was a big Garbodor that was just sitting there with all the little Trubbish around it. So, you know, possibility, again, well, not possibility, you can see in the trailer, you'll be fighting multiple Pokemon. As to whether they can catch multiple Pokemon during that battle, who knows? You know, maybe like, okay, you gotta knock them all down until you get to the one Pokemon you want. And, you know, again, it's just another level to that. We also got a shot of Zygarde 50%. So it's dog form at the end of the trailer. So obviously Zygarde will be back. You know, that was one of the legendary Pokemon there. But just before that, they showed a scene of one of the little, what are they called, Zygotes? Well, I can't remember what they're called, but one of the actual pieces of Zygarde kind of just crawling around the city. So there might be a fetch quest, like an overall fetch quest throughout the game. So once you get Zygarde, you have to find all the pieces to get them to 100% to get the full form. So that's another thing. And then we will also be getting new characters and returning characters. So finally, after 10 years, I believe 10 years, we will finally get to interact more with AZ and his Floette. So if you don't remember, spoiler warning right here, if you haven't played X and Y. AZ was like, I believe he was a king from like 3,000 years in Pokemon worlds past. And he created a super weapon to stop the big Pokemon war. But in doing so, I believe it killed like a bunch of Pokemon. I can't remember anyways, it was since I played. And the Floette went away. And at the end of the game, you have to battle him. I believe it was a post-credit scene. You battle him, and the Floette returns. And it just kind of, that's it. We never hear anything else about that. So you finally get to interact with him, because as you go into Lumio City, your kind of main base of operations is going to be the, I believe it was called the Z Hotel. And that's going to be kind of like your main base where you're staying at, and I'm sure you can like make, it's going to be like a headquarters area for you to like manage all your resources and things like that. So AZ is going to be like the manager of that hotel, and then you're going to have Floette there, and then your rival, you're going to have the option of 2 rivals depending, I believe, on what gender you choose. It will be the opposite gender. So if you play as a female, your rival will be named Urbane. If you play as a male, it'll be Tawny. Now, when you look at the character, it looks like the exact same character model, at least in the face. All they do is change the hair and body type. Even the clothes look similar. So that's going to be your rival this time around. I was kind of hoping that, I believe it was X and Y. Yeah, X and Y, we had like 5 rivals. Like it was just a group of kids, and they were just kind of like battling each other and doing things together. So, fortunately, it don't look like we're going to get that. They didn't show anything they didn't really show anything about like gym leaders or anything like that. I mean, you would have to assume there's only one gym leader in Lumio City, which is Clement. So they didn't show anything like that. But funny enough, when you're looking at the scenes of the wild areas, the little statue from the Pokemon, from the gyms, the Pokemon gyms, they're actually sitting on top of like the gateway into the wild areas. So possibility, it might be like, in Legends Arceus, you had to defeat like what's it called, like the hero or like the legendary Pokemon of that area, which was like the bigger Saluna or whatever it was. It was just like the one guardian, there you go, the one guardian Pokemon of the area. So being as how the wild areas are numbered, possibly that might have to do with that. Again, especially with that little statue up there. I mean, that's kind of a clue to that. The other new characters that you're going to run into are going to be the, I'm trying to think how to say it, Quasartico. Quasartico Inc. I was really practicing that and I still can't get it right. Quasartico Inc. And you'll be meeting the CEO, Jet, and her secretary, Vinny. Now, as soon as I seen these 2 characters, I got immediate, like, Aether Foundation vibes, Okay, they're here to be, they're saying they're here for the benefit of people in Pokemon, but they're going to have some ulterior motives. Where maybe they're trying to, like, take over Pokemon, or maybe they're trying to, like, we're finally going to catch Zygarde, something like that, right? Something I've noticed within the last Pokemon games, I don't know about Scarlet and Violet, I haven't played those, but something I noticed in some of the last Pokemon games was like there wasn't necessarily like a for sure villain. You had like the Aether Foundation in Sun and Moon. You had like what was it, Mayor Rose in Sword and Shield, where they were posing as these benevolent characters. We're here to help, we're here to this. But in the end, they were the ones that are pulling the strings in the background. They were the villains. The whole secret villain switcheroo, which I mean, that's kind of been like the trend for a while now. Even like if you notice like in Disney movies, they have the secret twist villain where like you have the one character who's like, oh, so nice, and everybody looks up to him, but in reality, they're out for their own ends. They're the villain, King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph. I can't remember the name of the king from Wish. They seem all nice and cool, but in the end, they're really villains. So, Quasartico Inc., I'm getting some big twist villain vibes. So, who knows? Maybe not. Maybe I'll be proven wrong and there's no real villain in this game. we'll see. Other than that, man, I mean, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be a really cool game. I'm looking forward to it. It's slated to release in. It's slated to release late 2025. So, if I had to guess, maybe October, November. It seems like a lot of like the mainline games always drop in the fall. For sure, about October, November, just so they can get in on time for the holiday rush. You know, people are gonna want that. That's gonna be the big gift for Christmas. You know. And then the last thing was at the very end of the trailer. It shows something about like looks like your character was waking up, like they're asleep in their room maybe, and it said something about like, you know, oh, there's a ranking match update, so we might be getting ranked matches again. You know, online play, you can rank up, and they showed a symbol, looked like the symbol of the tower, so possibility, you know, maybe that's going to be like the main area for battling, or at least online battling. You'll be right there in the Lumos Tower. And so it showed a really cool symbol of the tower, looked really nice, and so possibly you'll be ranking up that way. So, I mean, yeah, guys, this is gonna be a really cool game. Really looking forward to it. You know, that's gonna be that's gonna be the big gift for Christmas this year. So start saving your money now, guys, your milk money. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. I'm honestly probably gonna pour over those videos again just to see if I see anything else. Other than that, do all the usual stuff, guys. Subscribe, comment, share, like the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Maybe any theories you might have. I'm really hoping again for new regional variants of Pokemon. I really hope that the starters are gonna have their own regional variants. And that'd be cool to see like a grass-fed Chikorita, or maybe like a water dark type, you know, Totodile. You know, Feraligatr would be cool as a dark type, dual type dark water. Tepid, I mean, they always do firefighting, so it's like let's try something else. Fire Psychic, maybe fire. Can't be grass. I don't know. Let me know what you think. What do you think Tepe is going to be if there is regional variants for the starters? Other than that, guys, stay safe, be cool to one another, and as always,